Miss Merrill seems quite familiar with my father's style, but I assure you that he and I aren't entirely the same. In fact, it's somewhat condescending of you to compare me to him so callously.
Over here, researcher! Look who it is!
Gray Fox? What are you doing here? What happened to taking the helicopter over to Kylo?
We thought Asurada was up to no good again, so the boss and I busted Gray Fox out of there as soon as we arrived.
Anka, that's not what we agreed on. The Tower of Fantasy is far from safe, and now you...
What are you blaming me for? The boss and I planned on taking Gray Fox someplace safe with the helicopter and waiting for you to contact us, but...
But I believed my brother's plan was too risky and insisted on coming straight here to prevent you from falling into the Federation's hands.
What's the matter, Aglia? Don't you trust me?
Oh, I trust you well enough. I trusted that you would use my friends to find me at any cost, and that you'll use the researcher to further the Todd family's interests. What I don't trust, however, is that you would defy Father so easily.
It was never my intention to harm any of Wednesday's members. I was simply giving them a bit of encouragement. That's all. And besides, how else was I supposed to make the researcher demonstrate such an extraordinary ability without applying a little pressure?
What if you were wrong? What if they can't cure the aberrants? How could anyone survive against so many aberrants without that power?
Then the Federation prison I trapped them in would have been the safest place for them to hide. I would have told Father that all of Wednesday had been turned into aberrants, and that I wiped out every last one of them. It would have been just like how I orchestrated your rescue. Except this time, you'd have to set them up with new identities good enough to fool him.
Then that's exactly what we'll do starting right now. The researcher is a member of Wednesday, and I won't let you lead our friend right into the Secretary General's waiting arms.
Listen to me, Aglia. If this was as simple as Wednesday provoking the Federation, I would have countless ways to defuse the situation and protect all of you. But do you even understand why I'm taking such extreme measures? The danger posed by the aberrants is far worse than anything you might have seen in File 049. I don't know how this so-called researcher cures the aberrants, and I don't care to know. But because your friend is capable of doing something like this, Kieran has a right to know about it. This transcends any political or family interests.
You'll need a much better reason than that if you want to convince me, Asurada.
Aglia, please. The researcher's unique power could secure not just Wednesday's safety, but also save countless others. Perhaps even all of Aida. I'm not at liberty to discuss any further details of my plan, but a genius like you should have no trouble figuring out the rest. So please, Aglia, just trust in me for today, and I promise everything will be made clear afterwards.
I can tell you're telling the truth, but your attitude of knowing it all without explaining is just like Father's, and it really annoys me. Fine. We'll be waiting for you back at the tavern, but if you don't show up, you're toast.
You have a really funny way of wishing people good luck, you know that?
Good day, everyone. My name is Yang, and I'm Secretary General Kieran's personal assistant. The Secretary General is ready to meet with you, Mr. Asurada. Please come with me.
Looks like it's time for your big meeting. We'll just leave the rest up to you two.
Actually, Secretary General Kieran specifically requested to meet with all four of you. This way, please.
Hey, boss. Should we come up with an excuse to get out of here?
What's gotten into you, Anka? You're normally fearless to a fault.
Yeah, but there's nothing normal about the Asperia Tower of Fantasy, don't you think? This place is worse than 10 public security bureaus combined. It's like dealing with an entire army of Merrills.
Don't get carried away, Anka. An agent of Meryl's caliber is rare, even within the Federation. And they'd be lucky to have someone with even a fraction of her talent on their side. Besides, I trained you myself, so you have no—
But we were only supposed to grab the researcher and fly out of here. Now we're suddenly stuck in the Tower of Fantasy. It's like we're sitting ducks in a lion's den.
Or maybe a lamb thrown to the wolves.
That's enough, Gray Fox. Anka's clearly scared, so you shouldn't make fun of her.
Miss Yang, here are the documents for the meeting 2 days from now. After the last meeting, Secretary General Kieran asked me to have you review and summarize their contents before handing them over to her.
2 days from now? Let me see. These are for the meeting regarding the network's smart city, aren't they? Make 4 copies, send 2 to my office, and deliver the other 2 to the Smart City Control Department. Make them single-sided, numbered, and clipped, not stapled.
Understood.
Meeting's set for the afternoon 2 days from now. I'll need those files on my desk before 10 tomorrow morning. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Secretary General Kieran's office is at the end of this hallway. He's been anticipating your arrival. In the meantime, the rest of you can follow me to my office for tea and refreshments.
So, where are the tea and refreshments?
Right this way, if you'd be so kind as to step inside.
Inside what? Your custody?
Well, that's a luxury compared to prison, wouldn't you agree? Unless, of course, you'd prefer a stay in our high-security facility 20 meters below the tower. By all means.
So, you want us to surrender just like that?
Of course not. But our only advantage right now is Grey Fox. Aside from us and Aserada, no one here knows that Aglia and Grey Fox are the same person.
Even if we are detained, they wouldn't stop a Todd from playing games, right? While you two are in there, I'll find out what's really going on here, including what you and my brother are hiding.
If things go south in our meeting, we'll find a way to let you know. 3 against 1 is way better odds than taking on a whole crew right now.
Man, you guys and your big brains. It's a good thing we're buddies, 'cause I can't keep up with all this overthinking stuff.
I'm grateful for the opportunity to see you again, Secretary General Kieran. I've been meaning to visit ever since our family's last dinner party, but it's hard to impose on such a busy person.
I take it you're the Kylo researcher who cured the aberrants in the video?
Yes.
Forgive me, Secretary General. I should have known to dispense with the pleasantries. Allow me to get straight to the point. When I sent you that video footage, I mentioned a certain deal.
The answer is no, Aserada Todd. Team X was established to prevent the leak of File 049's contents, not to waste my time over the protection of some petty thieves. But you did bring this researcher here. I'll give you that much.
Are you aware that our friend here is also a member of Wednesday? If you fail to rescind the order for their arrest, I doubt the researcher would be willing to tell you everything you want to know.
Kylo researchers, you never cease to surprise me. Tell me, what will it take for you to share the secrets of your aberrant curing technique with me? Perhaps a bit more hospitality?
Something tells me your idea of hospitality doesn't include steak dinners or fancy hotel rooms.
You're quite the talker, aren't you?
There's no need to continue this charade, Secretary General. That bottle of sleeping pills on your desk has all but given you away. And judging from the size of the bottle, it appears your prescription is even stronger than my own. Do be careful, as I've been told the elderly are not meant to take too much of these. I can empathize with your situation. However, with the aberrants appearing more frequently and in greater numbers, and with Kylo up to their usual unspeakable schemes, do you really have the time or energy to show our friend this hospitality of yours?
No matter what you say, I simply can't let them go. The best I can offer is to keep them detained in the Tower of Fantasy until the situation is resolved. Then, we'll reconsider their fate.
Like you, Secretary General, I hate wasting time haggling, but I am determined to secure a pardon for Wednesday, and I won't stop until I get it. If you turn me away now, I'll have no choice but to add to your already sizable list of woes. You'll be so busy that a couple of file-stealing miscreants will be the least of your worries.
And how exactly are you gonna do that?
Well, I could always start by uploading that footage onto Echo for the world to see. I can already see the top story now. A mountain of corpses appears. Omnium experiments believed to be at fault.
You'd pit the Todds against the Federation for some petty thieves? I knew it. You wouldn't be that reckless without good reason. Fancy that. Wednesday's genius hacker, the mysterious Gray Fox, is your very own sister, Aglia Todd. I believe we also met each other at your family's last dinner party, yes?
You'd better take that back. I'll have you sued for slander against my sister.
Good luck to the Todd lawyers, then. I've just received evidence of a cyber attack on the Tower of Fantasy. The security system detected a droid at the tower's entrance. Tracing the signal, we found it being controlled from within the tower, specifically from this very floor.
Enough. Secretary General. Perhaps we should start over. Secretary General, I believe,
Secretary General Kieran, may I speak for a moment? We were hesitant to believe Acerada as well, but I can assure you that his only two concerns are protecting his sister and helping you fend off the temporal anomalies. That's why I think you should accept his conditions and grant Wednesday a pardon. If you're willing to trust Antoria, then I ask that you do the same for me. So please, grant us our pardon and let them go, and I'll tell you everything I know.
That's... Yang, come to my office.
Yes, sir.
I had no idea you were holding such a powerful trump card. Were you holding on to it all this time just to watch me suffer? I nearly went to war with the entire Federation just now. If you don't wish to tell me more, then so be it. Since it's clear I'm no longer needed in this room, I'm going to escort Aglia and the others out of the tower and to a safe place. If you'll excuse me.
Tell me, when did you get this badge?
Just today. When I disappeared in the video Acerada sent you earlier, that was me entering hyperspace. That was when I encountered a Void Piercer, as well as Antoria. She told me to show you this badge, and said it would convince you to help me.
To be honest, I'm surprised she gave it to you. Did she say anything else at the time?
She did. She wants you to restart the gate into hyperspace so that she can complete her mission.
Restart the gate? Could the situation have changed that much? During the first regression, I witnessed the opening of the gate with my own two eyes. At the time, humanity had just discovered the existence of hyperspace, as well as the ability to reshape our own reality through this exciting new world. The possibilities were endless, and we felt like gods who had awakened to their true potential.
Is hyperspace really that powerful?
Yes, and that was also when I designed this badge. The comet Mara was passing over Aida at the time, as though implying that it had guided humanity to an even higher plane of existence. I was convinced that Norns would be the one to lead us into the future, which is why I gave it the name Norns of the Future.
So why did Antoria have this badge?
Because humanity misunderstood Mara's gift to us. Humanity's exploration of Omnium eventually caught the attention of the Void entities, powerful predators that hide within the fabric of space-time. They invaded Aida's hyperspace. What happened after that? Well, you've already seen it all, haven't you?
So you're saying the real world started to suffer only after the Void Piercers appeared? And that the aberrants were a consequence of these temporal anomalies?
If left unchecked, the Void entities would have turned everyone into aberrants, and Aida would have become a living hell. For that reason, Antoria and her soldiers entered hyperspace to engage them in battle. I gave this badge to Antoria before she left, the one and only of its kind. She swore she would complete her mission at all costs, but her hands were trembling uncontrollably the entire time. She said one last thing to me before she stepped through the gate. If someone comes to you with this badge in hand, I need you to trust them and help them with all your strength. Treat them as you would treat me. It seems that person is none other than you. And since you've already met Antoria, you must know by now that no matter how many soldiers we send into hyperspace, we can never truly exterminate the Void entities.
If that's so, why are Antoria and her team still battling the Void Piercers in hyperspace? Aren't there other solutions for handling these temporal anomalies?
It appears Wednesday really didn't look into File 049 after all. If you had, you would know that the answer can be found within. The Reality Reshaping Program. Faced with the Void entities, an undefeatable enemy, the Norns Federation poured all of its resources into executing this three-phase plan. Phase 1 was... If reality is the calm surface of a lake, then every Omnium experiment conducted by humanity is a stone cast into that lake. Agitated by the ripples in the water, the creatures living in its depths approach the surface and create an even bigger disturbance. Their violent thrashing eventually begins splashing water on the people casting stones into the lake.
So you're saying that Omnium experiments are what attract the Void Piercers to an area, and in turn they infect everyone within a certain range? That's why the Federation passed the Omnium Experimentation Prohibition Act.
Unfortunately, due to Omnium Technology's immense market potential, companies like Shooter Electronics and Aurora Industries continued conducting illegal experiments. When a temporal anomaly appeared within Shooter Electronics' Ring Lab, it was because they illegally tampered with the Omnium Reactor's regulating program. Omnium research is inextricably tied to Omnium reactors. Whenever one of them is activated, it casts another stone into the lake, so to speak. The point where that stone enters the lake is known as a space-time singularity by Hykros.
But not all Omnium experiments result in aberrations, right? Back in Aurora Industries, I watched an Omnium reactor's activation with my own eyes, but I didn't see any aberrants afterwards.
That's most likely because Antoria is diligently carrying out her mission, which is Phase 2 of the Reality Reshaping Program, Restraint. The simplest way to calm the water's surface is to get rid of the creatures that arise from its depths. Antoria and the Temporal Anomaly Response Force are like a fishing boat out to capture them. They track the movements of void entities from within hyperspace. When they detect a large gathering, Antoria and her soldiers rush to the area and annihilate them, thus preventing aberrants from appearing in our world. Then, with the power of the Reshaping Tower, we can augment reality in a direction that is not influenced by the void entities. This allows us to alter the boundaries of affected areas and slow the spread of temporal anomalies. As for living creatures that have already become aberrants, in order to prevent them from exacerbating the situation, we use several underground areas to monitor and contain them. If the corresponding area can be reshaped, then the aberrants can return to normal as well.
Oh, I see.
Antoria's mission was never to eradicate the void entities, but to prevent their proliferation and the subsequent collapse of human society. The Reshaping Tower's effective range is limited, and the battle in hyperspace is not meant to last forever. The restraint phase's true purpose is to buy enough time for the third and final phase, Restore. Ever since Antoria entered hyperspace to battle with the Void Piercers, the Federation has been accumulating the strength and resources needed to launch a second global time retracement, aiming to revert all of Aida to a time before the temporal anomalies. If we succeed, the surface of the lake will become peaceful once more, and humanity will have completely averted the catastrophe caused by the temporal anomalies. But the date we've chosen for turning back time is still far away. But now that you've appeared with Antoria's badge, it means she must have discovered something so important that we need to accelerate our plans. Cat got your tongue? Getting cold feet?
No, Secretary General, but I'm definitely worried. Given the failure of the first regression, have you considered how catastrophic it would be if we failed a second time?
To be honest, it's impossible for us to imagine the consequences of a second failure at this time. The first regression was just a single, small-scale experiment. It hardly compares to a time retracement that will affect the entire planet. But one thing I can tell you is that with the help of artificial intelligence, the Federation has conducted an almost immeasurable number of experimental simulations. The reality reshaping program is the only option with a success rate greater than 0.
So when are you planning to go public with this information? Almost no one on Aida knows about the temporal anomalies, much less that the Federation is planning such a massive operation that will affect everyone's lives.
Sharing this information with the rest of Aida would only cause even more panic, which would disturb our social order. If that were to happen, the Federation wouldn't be able to amass the strength it needs to execute the reality reshaping program. For this reason, I need to keep everything secret for the time being. You're entirely correct that this course of action will result in the loss of many innocent lives. But unless I do things this way, every single person on Aida will be turned into an aberrant. The temporal anomalies cannot be seen as ordinary natural disasters, or scientific mishaps that require divulgence to the public. The fate of every living being in our world is at stake. I'll do whatever it takes to succeed, even if it means being described as a villain or a dictator in the pages of history. By asserting full control over every media and information outlet, I can ensure that no mention of the temporal anomalies makes it to the public. By disseminating and promoting Blue Aida's ideology, I was able to enact the Omnium Experimentation Prohibition Act. Through various threats and incentives, I persuaded several of Aida's wealthiest families to contribute to the reality reshaping program.
Aren't you worried that your plan might go awry? If even one word of this gets out, the society you've worked so hard to stabilize will collapse.
Precisely. It seems you finally understand the gravity of my position, as well as my reason for pursuing Wednesday so relentlessly.
Despite everything you've done, what if the next time retracement fails?
Then it only proves that fate is no longer on humanity's side. I have another meeting to attend shortly. Once it's over, I'll begin the necessary preparations for restarting the gate to hyperspace, but it's going to take some time. Since you have this badge, you will now participate in the reality reshaping program as a special commissioner. I will assign Federal Agent Claudia to assist you. Reactivating the gate is no simple task, so please be patient.
I nearly forgot about something, Secretary General.
Are you talking about the order for Wednesday's arrest? Don't worry, I'll be sure to cancel it.
No, it's actually about another member of Wednesday. Her name is Nola, and it's possible that she was part of a secret defense force squad in the past. But for several reasons, she has lost her memory. I was wondering if I could access her information to help her regain her memory?
A defense force soldier named Nola. I'll have Yang look into it. Just a moment. Yang tells me that the person in this file's photographs is none other than Nola. However, as this file is classified, I can only provide you with an edited copy.
Phantom just sent us a new message. It's a picture of Wednesday's official pardon, signed by Kieran himself. Looks like we're really in the clear now. With our friend back and our crimes cleared, Wednesday's finally ready to start a brand new chapter. You couldn't ask for a more perfect ending.
It's good to have you back, Gray Fox. Anka was so worried about you while you were gone that she could barely work. She broke more of my cups than usual, too.
Why do you have to tell her that as soon as she gets back, Mr. Baggus? And for the record, I wasn't that worried. My hands kept slipping because I was thinking of all the ways I could rescue her. That's all.
You mean you were thinking of ways to save me from Lucius's secret prison? The boss told me everything, and judging from your expression, it appears to be the truth.
How was I supposed to know the kidnapper was your own father and not Lucius? You never see that sort of plot twist these days. Not even in TV dramas.
Oh, good work, Ace. Thanks for worrying about me, and for keeping everyone's morale up with your optimism. I expected nothing less from Ida's most legendary thief.
Oh, Gray Fox. It's so nice to have you back.
Ugh, hey, don't wipe your nose on my dress. It's tailor-made, you know.
That's not gonna stop me from hugging you. Besides, you can always buy another one with the 500,000 Norn your brother paid us. You're entitled to your share too.
Wasn't it supposed to be 1 million?
Phantom did say he would pay us the remaining half, but I told him that rescuing you was our own mission, not a job for money. So...
Oh, come on! You're pulling that Robin Hood act in front of my brother? Seriously? He's rolling in dirty money, more than he could ever spend. And you actually turned down his offer? What were you thinking? Ugh, forget it. I'll think of another way to get back at him later. The boss told me about you too, researcher. She said you stormed a hospital and even kidnapped Lucius from the Public Security Bureau, all for my sake. Go ahead, tell me what you need.
Well, it's best if we discuss this in private.
Hey, Mr. Magus, you said I broke more of your cups than usual, right? Now that Gray Fox is back and I have some money in pocket, let me cover the damages.
By the gods, I never thought this day would come. And since your last job paid you so well, why don't we throw in all of the cups you've broken since you got here? Every last one.
But I'll be broke again if we do that, Mr. Magus. And besides, Rosalind invited me out to eat after work. If I showed up late because I was stuck here counting cups all day, she'd get so mad.
I received a communication a while ago. At first, I thought it was from a colleague at Hycros, but when I met her, I realized that someone had faked her voice.
You seriously fell for such a cheap trick? The Public Security Bureau has a whole list of tips for avoiding scams, so you might want to try reading through some of them. Just tell me how much they stole from you, and I'll pay you back for it.
They didn't take any money from me, but the trouble they made for me is still just as bad, if not worse. That's why I need your help finding this person.
Sounds simple enough. Hand me your terminal and I'll copy the data from that false communication. Once I find something, I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Don't thank me just yet, especially since my help doesn't come for free. In exchange for locating your mystery person, you're going to tell me everything you know about the aberrants in File 049.
But I thought you accessed the Federation's network when we were back at the Tower of Fantasy.
Ugh, don't remind me. I sorely underestimated their network defenses, so not only did I fail to access anything, I nearly got discovered by someone named Gestos within the system. Whoever it is, I swear I'll have my revenge someday.
Hey, Nola. I have a present for you.
Is this a Defense Force file? Wait, that's me in the picture.
I got this from the Tower of Fantasy. According to the file, you were definitely a past member of the Defense Force, and you were assigned to a top-secret mission.
Thank you for all your help, researcher. It's just, even after seeing this file, I still don't remember any of it.
Don't lose hope, Nola. This file is just a record of your presence within the Defense Force. Even though there's a background check included, it only assesses your capability for taking on top-secret missions. How could a single file possibly contain everything there is to know about you? Retrieving your memories is going to be a long process, so give yourself some grace.
You have a point. In any case, thanks for bringing me this file.
With the sudden increase in miracles, the Federation has finally been stretched to its limits. More and more people are beginning to suspect that the Federation is hiding something from them.
Praise our Lord for blessing us with these miracles, for our faithful have only grown in number because of them.
Let it be known that these miracles are not gifts, but undeniable signs of his fury. Our Lord will no longer tolerate humanity's meddling with Omnium, which is why we must halt any and all experiments at once. Tell us, soldier, have you found the object left behind by Antoria before she entered hyperspace?
Not yet, but I have several promising leads to investigate. I just need a bit more time.
There is no time left, warrior. The gate to our Lord's domain is about to open ahead of schedule. If we can't find the object, we will have to take a risk. To ensure the plan's success, we need more followers.
When you people are recruiting your followers, could you stop mentioning shooter electronics to them so much? All they do is sit outside of our buildings chanting, "Make Ada blue again." It's never wise to keep biting the hand that feeds you, remember that.
The shooter ring lab was shut down by Secretary General Kieran long ago, so it's not like you're conducting any Omnium research on the premises. At most, those protesters are just crowding your doorway now.
I don't need to hear it from you. I asked you to help me block Merrill's report and buy me some time to fix things, but did you listen? No. You just left me out to dry.
That wasn't the scholar's fault. Your request made it too easy for her to expose you. If you had properly controlled the Omnium reactor as I said, nothing would have happened at Shooter Ring Lab. Your mistake has severely impeded our research of T5. If we don't finish T5's development before they reactivate the gate, the Lord's wrath will consume every single person on Aida.
Enough. It's only because the Federation accelerated their plans that we have to come up with a new solution.
The monk is right. That's why I gathered you all here today. Alchemist, sage, you must halt your research and destroy all evidence of it.
How's this my problem? They can't track me down in the Tower of Fantasy. Unless... Wait a sec. That's impossible. You can't just hand out authorizer badges like candy.
It's true, Sage. Your assumption has come to pass, which is why you must be ready.
Our plan must undergo drastic changes if we are to overcome these challenges. I will continue waiting for our Lord's orders, but until then, you must all maintain the utmost discretion. When all preparations are complete, I will contact you.
Understood.